I don't know how to start this recap. All I'm going to say is this was an absolute embarrassment. This was a complete team disaster. This was a pathetic performance on every factor of the football today from our Pittsburgh Steelers, ladies and gentlemen. We lose to the Arizona Cardinals, man, by 2 scores. We are actually recording this as we are 2 minutes and 40 seconds as they hand it off to James Conner, who has 2 touchdowns today, over 100 yards on the Steelers rushing defense, man. James Conner in his homecoming has a great game for us.
Yeah.
Feel good if you want to, but today he was the enemy, and we could not stop the enemy today.
No.
We could not. James Conner, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. He got pretty much all Arizona's points. He was the dagger to our hearts today, unfortunately, and how fitting in a game like this where we couldn't get anything going. We couldn't do anything. In a game where literally everything possible went wrong. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. It was comically and stressfully bad. It was bad, man.
Nothing went in the Steelers' favor whatsoever.
No, and what sucks is not only did everything go wrong, we had 2 weather delays that stretched this game even further, which meant we had to watch this longer than we should have. This was a long and exhausting and painfully inducing football game for our Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
Man. This was easily our worst loss of the year. You could look at the blowouts from the Niners, from the Texans, and think those are the worst, but this was the worst on so many levels.
The Arizona Cardinals are about to be 3-10, while we are about to drop to 7-5.
7-5. And the reason why we say it's the worst loss is because not only is it against the Arizona Cardinals, who have, well, no longer do they have the second worst record in the NFL. That belongs to the New England Patriots, who we faced on Thursday night. God bless whoever's watching that game. God bless.
God bless Al Michaels having to commentate that shit show.
God bless. They are now 3-10. We fall to 7-5. It's December football where everything matters the most. The Ravens are on a bye. The Browns are starting Joe fucking Flacco as we speak, who, by the way, has as many touchdown passes as Kenny Pickett has in the last 3.5 games.
No, he has more than that.
More than that, actually. Yeah. Joe Flacco, in 1 quarter, has more touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett has in the last 4 games.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
For the Browns.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
The Bengals are done for the year. They lost Burrow. They're playing the Jags tomorrow on Monday night. We are the only AFC North team with home field advantage this week. We have everything in our favor.
And we completely blew it.
We absolutely blew it to astronomically bad levels, bad proportions. I'll be real with you, man. I have not felt this depressed, this drained, this angry, this bad about a Steelers loss in a long time.
And I think what really hurt just as much was the fact of the 2 weather delays. Because of how we were feeling after the first half, which was very miserable, very bad on the Steelers' part.
And we were begging, praying for them to just cancel it because there was no way we were coming back from a 2-touchdown deficit. And look what happened. Exactly.
And those 2 weather delays, that feeling that we were feeling and sustaining, it just lingered. It was just bad.
It was absolutely piss poor, and it just kind of like engulfed even more. And to the point that, I don't know, man. It was definitely the worst loss of the season, in my opinion, man. I mean,
look, the Cardinals are 2-10. By the way, you forgot the extra point. It's 24-10.
Oh, who cares, man?
It doesn't help that we have several injuries coming out of this game just as much.
We have Elandon Roberts hurt with a groin injury, which is going to aggravate him the rest of the season. So our 3 main inside linebacker additions are now hurt. Holcomb out for the year. Quan out for the year, Roberts with a groin injury, which means our starting linebackers are going to be an injured Elandon Roberts, Michael Walker, Mark Robinson, and 2 guys we brought out of retirement, Blake Martinez and Miles Jack. We're fucked at inside linebacker.
Yeah, we are.
As well as Seumalo went out with an injury. He was out the rest of the game. Kenny Pickett suffered an ankle injury. He was out the rest of the game. Mitch had to play quarterback the rest of the second half, which, by the way, man, Kenny's soft.
Very soft.
I know you can't avoid injuries in the NFL.
But he's already sustained 4 injuries within 2 seasons.
2 concussions, a hip injury earlier this year. No, a rib injury, and now an ankle injury. Kenny's soft. And no, before we get into anything further, no. Kenny Pickett was not going to make a difference in this game if he never got hurt. He was not going to bring us back from a 2-touchdown deficit.
No, say Pickett recovered from his ankle injury after the first half. He was cleared to go in the second half. Nothing would have changed. We were still down by a score. Arizona started the ball with the start of the second half, and they were pretty much running down our throat. They still upped the score. So there was not really much that Kenny was really going to be able to do any differently because there was nothing going right for the offense.
No. As a matter of fact, with Kenny Pickett at quarterback, we left 2 touchdowns off the board. The only points that we realistically and matterly scored today was our first drive, which we got into the red zone, and like we have all fucking year, we can't finish, and we settled for a field goal.
And then the next opportunity that they had to get points on the board, they were able to go down the field, get first and goal, run 4 straight times.
They ran 4 straight run attempts within 6 yards of the end zone. Not once did they get in. They went for it on 4th and goal, which was the right call. But the play call itself was not proper. Because Kenny ran it on 3rd down. Got us to the 1 yard line.
Yeah, that's where we got hurt.
Kenny got hurt. Mitch came in. They elected to go with a running back draw with Najee Harris. Why?
Instead of getting Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren was not involved one bit within those times.
Warren saw 0 carries, 0 snaps within that entire red zone trip where we tried 4 rushing attempts and got 0 points. On 4th and goal, we elected to run a running back draw with Najee instead of sneaking it with Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
Or if the ball was going to go to Najee, perhaps get him a lead block, particularly I-form, which I understand is not even in Matt Canada's playbook. And this game proved that all the blame was not on Matt Canada. It was not.
Now, he was a big part. There's no question about that.
He was probably the biggest reason, but he was not the entire problem.
And we stated that even when he was here.
Yes, it was a continued collective disaster. And it still is today. The line still sucked. Mason fucking Cole needs benched and fucking cut, fired, traded, something.
2 terrible snaps.
Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy.
Just bad altogether this year.
He is absolutely atrocious. In fact, he is the reason why Connor got his first rushing touchdown today, which got the Cardinals the 17-3 initial lead before the second weather delay.
Yeah.
Mason Cole sucks. He needs benched. At what point do we start asking when are the Steelers going to bench their center? I don't care who you put. You want to put Daniels there? You want to put Seumalo there? You want to put Nate Herbig there? It doesn't matter, dude. The fact that Holcomb on a weekly basis is snapping the ball at the ankles consistently every fucking week is a concern.
That's a huge problem.
And that's
a huge problem.
Nothing's changing, dude. You have got to get rid of him. You have got to get rid of him. Center needs to be addressed next year. I wouldn't play Cole the rest of the year, and I would absolutely cut him, save whatever I can, and go get a center. A natural center.
Yeah.
Passing on Creed Humphrey is still affecting this team. It's absolutely atrocious.
They passed up on him twice.
Absolutely atrocious. As well, and when we keep going with everything went wrong today, after we didn't make it on 4th and goal at the 1 yard line with Najee Harris, the Arizona Cardinals would go down 99 yards for a touchdown to Trey McBride, who had a career game today.
Before that 99-yard drive, they were, 0-4.
They were 0-4 on 3rd down conversions.
They were able to convert 5 3rd down conversions on that drive alone.
And
Trey McBride completely shredded this secondary, shredded this defense. And we also got Minkah back.
And we got Minkah
back, who was out for 4 games.
And it didn't make a lick of a difference.
No, it didn't.
It didn't make a lick of a difference.
No, it didn't.
We allowed the 2-10 Arizona Cardinals to go 99 yards before the end of the first half. Get 5 3rd down conversions on that very drive when they had 0 to begin with prior. After not making a second red zone trip touchdown, leaving 2 touchdowns off the board in the first half. I really wish they would have canceled this game after the second weather delay. because we just had to continue to endure to watch the rest of this game where Connor got his second touchdown. Deontay got a garbage time touchdown, which doesn't mean a goddamn thing, and he's dancing about it. Why are you dancing? We lost.
You're
We're
dancing
down,
after scoring a touchdown while being down against a 2-10 fucking team in your own stadium. But let me dance because I got my touchdown. I got my stats. I only care about myself because I'm a Steelers wide receiver.
Yeah, right. And when the Steelers got the ball back after the second weather delay, they went down the field. They were in field goal range. It was 4th down. And instead of electing to go for it, they kicked a field goal. Boz missed it.
He completely missed it.
Literally everything went in the wrong direction for the Steelers.
Everything. I got a question with that play call or that decision.
Why would you not go for it?
You're down 17-3. Why would you not go for it? You elect to kick it, which he missed.
Yeah.
Instead of going for it, being aggressive, taking a chance, yet you don't live in your fears.
Exactly. This was an absolute team disaster. An absolute embarrassment, pathetic. And wherever we stand in the AFC North or the playoff picture right now as we stand, we obviously do not deserve to make the playoffs.
No.
You do not lose to the 2-10, now 3-10 Arizona Cardinals and expect to make the playoffs and be a considerable threat.
No.
If the Steelers somehow make the playoffs, which is still mathematically possible, and will probably need the help of 7 other teams like we have every goddamn season, we already know how it's going to go. So if they somehow make it, we already know what the end result's going to be. But this was pathetic. An absolute trap, a complete Tomlin special. Mike Tomlin completely unprepared his team against one of the worst in the NFL. And what makes it worse is not only because of everything surrounding the AFC North division and the playoff standings and the playoff hunt and everything about the AFC North teams this week with the Ravens on bye and the Bengals playing the Jags tomorrow and the Browns starting Joe Flacco and us at home, we left 2 touchdowns off the board. We can only score 1 touchdown, which was garbage time, and the defense was atrocious.
And injuries just...
the injuries beyond all that.
Yeah, the injuries just piled on.
Even Watt got hurt.
Yeah, Watt got hurt toward the end of the game. And he was in invisible pain on his face. And we got a short week.
Against the
New England Patriots, to which, I mean, they're in a tough situation. They're arguably the worst team in the league. And going into that game on a short week with what we witnessed, what transpired, what we're dealing with, I do not feel confident one bit. And that's going up against fucking Bailey Zapp at quarterback.
Bailey Zapp. The Patriots, who now have the second worst record in the NFL. We are on a short week, and we have all these injuries piling up after today's atrocious performance. I don't even think Kenny's going to play. So we got to endure Bailey Zapp and Mitch Trubisky as the starting quarterbacks for Thursday Night Football primetime. I'll be shocked if any team scores a touchdown. I am not excited for that game. And this goes to show you, man, no matter what, this team still fails with consistency. This team still fails offensively. This team still fails with finishing drives and getting points on the board.
Yeah.
And the defense is still questionable as well. An absolute team disaster, an embarrassment, the worst loss, the worst game all season. Everything went wrong in any aspect you can think of. Everything. It was a disaster. It was pathetic. It was an embarrassment. I am sickened as a Steelers fan to have watched this. This was this was literally the longest Steelers game that I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
And it felt longer because of the weather delays.
Yeah. And that just made our feelings even worse, you know, as we had to continue in the second half.
No. And we knew that we weren't going to come back.
No, not with Mr. Trubisky. No. And then now we possibly got to endure him as the starting quarterback for Thursday.
Yeah.
God help us all.
So say what you want about whatever, but it's the fact that with Kenny, without Kenny, we still have points off the board and nothing was going to make a difference. And we put ourselves in that situation. Very poor. Very, very, very poor, man. Mason Cole sucked today. The offense sucked today. The game planning sucked today. Mike Tomlin sucked today. The only if there's any positive I can give anything today, it is the ground game. Najee and Warren still ran their asses off. I think Warren should have gotten more carries, but they both still ran their asses off. George Pickens had his best game since the Ravens game before the bye.
Yeah.
That is it. That's it. Watt and Highsmith both came away with sacks. That's it. Nothing else matters.
Yeah. 3 things.
This reminds me.
Three things coming out this game for the Steelers.
This reminds me of our tie versus the Lions years ago. This reminds me of our loss versus the Raiders in 2018.
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of.
That's how bad it was.
It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing, and everyone should be ashamed. And it starts at the top with Mike Tomlin. He should be ashamed, man. With everything surrounding this team and where we stand with the division in the playoffs, this is how you perform against the Cardinals? And no one is shocked. No one is surprised. As a Steelers fan, you came in here nervous for right reasons. If you're a Steelers fan, you get it. You know. But it doesn't make it any less disappointing. It doesn't make us any less angry.
Exactly. And in fact, it should make us more pissed off because it continues to fucking happen.
And we had chances to score touchdowns and take the lead and be in this game more than we could have.
And take the win, but
we didn't.
They were missed opportunities.
Very missed opportunities, man. The early mistakes just killed us. And by the time we were already done, man, we really wished for this game to just be canceled after the second weather delay. Why would we want to continue to endure ourselves with this garbage?
We're better off just throwing the white flag out there.
Exactly, man. I'd bleach this and just wave this. Not in fandom, in surrender. What an absolute... I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to call it anymore.
There's so much to describe this game. There really is, and not in a good way.
No,
Let me just say that.
Not in a good way whatsoever.
This game blowed. This team blows.
And that shows you, man, every single loss we have this year, we've scored no more than 10 points.
Yeah, all five of our losses, we have not scored more than 10 points.
No, I don't even count that Deontay touchdown. Who gives a shit? It was garbage time.
Apparently he gives a shit.
Clearly.
Only gives a shit about himself.
That's what it appears, man. Regardless, man, here's the fucked up part. We outgained them.
Yeah, we did.
We outgained them and lost.
So we had another.
The more you.
We had 300. We had 317 total yards.
The more you dig up, the worse it gets. The more you dig up, the worse it gets.
317 total yards, but the points on the board don't say so.
So the biggest losers today are Mike Tomlin for his preparation for another Tomlin special, for Mason Cole for being one of the worst centers in football, and for the defense for not stepping up when they needed to.
Just failing altogether.
And third down defense especially. The Cardinals were the worst third down defense in the NFL coming into this game. Today, we look like the worst third down defense.
Big time.
Absolutely atrocious, man.
And this is the first, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first Arizona Cardinals road win in the last 9 times they were on the road.
Yeah.
They got their first road win.
I swear, the more you dig up, the worse it gets. This just shows you everything went wrong today.
And now we got to take this win and salvage whatever we can.
Take this loss.
Yeah, I said, yeah, exactly.
Win.
Take this loss, take what we can from it, and take it into Thursday on a short week against New England.
Against New England, and what might be the worst game of the NFL season thus far. So we got that to look forward to. Here we go, Steelers. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. How you feel about this game? How you feel about Tomlin? How you feel about everything that went down today, man? An atrocious game, an embarrassment, and I am ashamed of this Steelers team, man. It just goes to show you that even with he who shall not be named no longer in power, that there are still underlying issues with this team, man, and they're far deeper than you thought. Seriously. And until the obvious gets out, there's not going to be much change. There's not going to be much success. There's not going to be much winning. So here we stand as the Pittsburgh Steelers. The standard is the standard. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. At the end of the day, here we go, Steelers, and maybe we get a rebound win at home versus the Patriots, man. It's a personal game, but I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Let us know your guys' thoughts. See you in the next one.
As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace.